Well, hello everybody. I am back online. We're back in Star Wars Battlefront 2. I currently don't have I have having a reason with my Spotify. It's not wanting to play. So you guys aren't hearing it. And that annoys me. So I'm gonna take a minute here and see if I can figure this out. See if I can get this going the way I need it to. I would like you guys to be able to hear music while I'm doing this. Go ahead and exit Spotify, I guess. See if we can get this to work. Hope everyone's doing well. Just having issues on my end. You know how it is. It's always lousy stuff. All right, let's see if we can get this to work like how I need it to. Let's try playing this again. There we go. Yeah, for some reason that was just not working like I needed it to. Very odd. Okay, we're gonna hide that, and then we need to talk to Bongo here. Bongo, you being a sneaker as well? Wish you would stop. I hope everyone's doing well today. It's the middle of the week, and it is hot out like it has been for the last month. Oy. Found out that another game of mine is shutting down. They made the announcement today that Splitgate is shutting down, which bummed me out a little bit because I haven't gotten all the achievements on it. But it was also like, so yeah, gonna have to mess with that in some way or another. We're back to Star Wars Battlefront. You guys know how much I like this game. So we're doing something a little different. The music is going to be coming through Spotify as opposed to through the game because apparently Star Wars is particularly strict on music being used in their streams, which is such a bummer. Because there's other Star Wars games I want to play, and it's just like if it's going to be an issue, that's just going to annoy me more than anything else. So, okay, so let's take a look and see what we have to do. So we got all of our hero stuff. What do we have in the way of our troopers? So we still have flying with the there. We still have the Cathix spy. So we'll form with the droidicus. Still have to play with the commando droid. And everything else is the classes specifically. Okay. You know how you all know how I play. It is jumping in with all the classes available, and let's go for it. It looks like we're doing Yavin 4 first. So it is so annoying when things don't work out like they should. But yeah, we're gonna work our way around it. What are we playing today? Yavin 4. We're okay, and we're Republic. So, and we're the rebels, so we're going to defend. We'll go a heavy, I guess. Oh, we've been pushed all the way back to the base, huh? Yikes. Something else that's been happening. I noticed last night when I was playing Helldivers 2, but I also noticed this morning when I was playing Final Fantasy 14. It seems my my gaming keyboard, my keyboard and mouse might be starting to go bad, or they just need some maintenance cleanup. Because, and you might see it during the stream now. Sometimes the keys will stick, or they will function just a little slowly. And I've checked everything else except the hardware itself. I thought like, oh, I'm running it at too high a, you know, the CPU is so high that it's actually it's actually going to 100, and it's making it so then I can't. So it's actually struggling for the format things, which makes no sense because it came out of nowhere. But I've also had this keyboard and mouse for a long time. I've had them for several years at this point. I'd actually need to look at when I actually got them, but I could say it's been at least 5 years since I've got them. And it's not like I abuse them or anything. I probably don't take care of them as well as I should, being as in, like, you know, cleaning them, making sure that they're not getting dirty underneath the keys and stuff like that. I just don't think about doing that, which is really stupid of me. Because I will be very clear. I really try and take care of the stuff that I get because I want it to last. I don't abuse it. I don't bash it or anything like that. But it still gets dirty, you know. You know, when I do eat stuff at my desk. But it's never. I always try and be mindful of it. If I make a spill, I immediately clean it up. I never try and put anything other than water over my keyboard. If I eat food, it's nothing that's particularly crumbly or sticky or anything like that that could get all over the keys or anything like that. I make sure that my hands are dry when I use my keyboard and stuff. Anyway, you guys don't even need to know my my eating habits, but it feels like the keys on both my mouse and my keyboard are not functioning as well as they should, and especially my mouse. My mouse is an old MMO mouse from Logitech that they really don't make anymore. It is this one that has the multiple. It has 12 keys on the side. It's an amazing, and yeah, it has a shifter key and everything. It is an amazing mouse, and I'm so sad they don't produce it anymore. Because when I eventually do have to get a new mouse, I'm gonna have to get used to a new mouse in some version. I'm probably gonna have to find something other than Logitech, because I think there are other MMO mouses out there. Anyway, but I have them keyed up, so then when I play. So when I play Helldivers 2, I can put in my stratagems into it. But yesterday, and just playing through stuff, I was having issues having things just trigger the right way. I mean, I was most of the way through a stratagem, and then suddenly my character would swap over to his secondary weapon rather than finish the... And it just was so weird. So I've been trying to diagnose it, and I'm pretty sure what was happening is that for some reason, I was having a couple of background processes on my computer running higher than they needed to be, so they just need to be restarted because they apparently were doing way more than they needed to. And for the time being, it looks like everything's okay. But it was just really, really odd. So I'm hoping that I've more or less solved the issue, but I was having issues with it this morning, like I said, in Final Fantasy 14. I have a bunch of my abilities on my hotbars. They are keyed to my mouse, so I can still run around and dodge things while doing actions. And for some reason, So I have... Okay, so let me explain. Because it's really hard to hit 6 through question... equal sign with your left hand, I have a lot of that stuff keyed up, so I only use 1 through 5 and sometimes 6 with my left hand, so it's mainly used for movement and targeting, for the tab targeting and stuff. That'll be for like the main attacks that I use for like to start combos and things like that. For anything secondary, somewhat secondary, as well as other abilities, I usually will key it up to my second hotbar, and that is a controlled 1 through equal sign, and that's actually on my mouse. So my mouse would actually hit, is actually doing the control version of that. And then there's then there's a switch mode on this that allows me to change to Alt 1 through equal sign. So
Kenobi is here to support us.
I have that activated.
New orders, boys. These positions should be attacked right away.
And it works fantastic. I can do so many actions with just my mouse, which doesn't do a whole lot during combat, other than moving the camera around and picking out targets and doing other things. So it's really nice. The problem I'm having is that sometimes it wasn't registering the right way. So instead of doing control 12, which would be equal sign, it was doing just normal equal sign, which is a different button entirely. So I actually was not activating abilities when I was wanting to. And it's got me worried that I'm losing that my mouse might be going out. It still functions really well, but if I can't have it being as precise or as reliable in its key binding as it needs to be, I kind of need an upgrade then. So I might have to start looking into getting another mouse. The keyboard kind of does it, but it's really not noticeable. See, that was a case. Yeah, so my D key's sticking a little bit. And it doesn't always do it. It's very random. So I think my keyboard probably just needs to be probably just needs a cleaning. My mouse could probably use a cleaning too, but I don't know how to do that. The buttons are really close together. So I don't know if I'd ever be able to actually take these out and actually clean around them. So I'm going to need to look up a video or something. It's like, how do I clean this mouse? How do I do a little bit of a TLC on this mouse so it will work like it needs to? Because I would expect that the thing that would come out first on these keys would be the mouse keys rather than the side keys. But they also probably don't hard test those as much as they do with the normal mouse keys. So it's a question of, do I actually need to, if I'm going to need to actually upgrade? If I do, I'm going to have to get used to it, and it's going to be annoying.
Well, at least it's not on borrowed.
But until the mice and keyboard really start giving me like proper issues, I'm going to hold on to them as long as I can. Beat them into the ground because there's not a good replacement for these. It has a wonderful keybind setup, and a wonderful key layout that I use for a lot of different games, and just having to try and recreate that is going to be hard, or to readjust for. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Stop it. Ow! Ah, darn it. So yeah, that's a thing. I need to change this back to what it was. That back up in place. There we go. Okay. Anyway, that's kind of what new with me gaming-wise, is just potentially having to get a new mouse and keyboard. Though, I think the keyboard can stay. It may be a mouse issue. And it might be that I just need to get the dust and stuff out from between the keys and stuff. That's also very viable. So.
Anyone else feeling right? stand when they put up a fight. Ready to quit yet?
Good, we got that at checkpoint. Oh, let's not do that yet.
Keep them on the defensive.
Sonia McLean, please come on in. Ah! Ow, 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 turret. See if we can... Okay, turret's gone. Whew. How rude is that, shooting me as I'm moving in? No, 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 no. Well, Jack Fisher needs to get back in. It's contested, apparently. Ah! Away from all that.
See how they like a little blaster fire.
See, and that's what I'm seeing is that going back and forth like this. Sometimes my character keeps moving after I've released the key. So I don't know if the key is sticky because it doesn't feel sticky. I don't know if it's a CPU thing because I was having that last night and it was weird. But having done a little bit of troubleshooting on that, I'm pretty sure it's not always the CPU. Though the CPU does need to get upgraded. Since I got the 3070, my CPU has been the bottleneck. So.
You're getting the hang of it.
What? Ow, 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 ow. Oh, ow! Jerk! Oh, we had to get our handy-dandy little explosive thing out now, didn't we? We're going to switch over to our second upload. All right. Yeah, get him when he's not able to pull his lightsaber up and he goes down pretty quick. There we go. When you're not the focus, that's when you attack. All right. Now, looks like we're actually going off from the right side rather than the left, so. Oh, I thought I switched over. Did I not? I must not have equipped it. I have a secondary loadout that I use, and it didn't change it over, apparently. Oh, that's small. Nasty! Ow!
Hold fire ready.
Ah! That's one thing that the AI melee is really good at, is deflecting the bullets right back at you. Activate that loadout. Thank you. That's what I wanted. If we're going down on this side, we're gonna have to deal with that tank.
We have to stop fiddling around and get this done.
Surprisingly, the Separatists are actually really good about putting a tank out and trying to attack with it. And it's really annoying. Because it freaking sucks. have to try and fight the AATs. The Grumpy Kitten. Hello, Lisa.
Say they can't support this attack for much longer.
Good to see you, sweetie.
Secure this sector right away.
Ow, 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 ow. Jerks. Oh, we went down. Shoot. We're still holding this one. We're just gonna have to test it. Unfortunately. Hello, there he is. Ah, boo!
Called in a bounty hunter.
Darn it all. Yeah, let's see if I can set up this turret so then it'll actually start blasting the tank. Because frankly, I don't want it still there. Oh, it didn't activate the... that's annoying. Should let me be in the normal loadout. I shouldn't have to trigger it again. Oh well. Got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's go, 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 go. I say to a bunch of AI and only 3 other people who can't hear me.
Arming grenade!
Grievous, good.
I've got you!
Oh, who shoot me? Oh, just friendlies. Okay. Here's the thing. Unless I get, like dedicated, weapons to fight against the tank, it gets really, really annoying. Looks like a Wolfjack Fisher is... Ah, he just got out of it.
Covering fire!
Ion turret. Oh, okay. Ow! There we are. That's what we want. Start blasting that one. There we go. Did some proper damage to that tank now.
Time's running out, brothers. We have to secure the area.
I remember what that my number 4 is on that one. Is it a personnel one or is it a... Attracts locked vehicle and deals high damage. Here we got 30 seconds. Might as well try and use Anakin again.
One of those situations where we far outnumber the enemy. Well, it is a Master Yoda.
Ah! Grievous! Ah! Bad way to start the day. Bad way to start the day. Oh, well. That one actually can be tricky to do.
Than expected.
It's very open. They always have a tank.
Just for now.
So it's hard to win that one, honestly. It's hard to win that one when you're the clones aggressing. Common fork. Oh, I got Anakin some points, so I'm okay with that. Anyway, back into the co-op stuff. Ooh. Last night in Helldivers 2, so the last major order was fighting against the automatons, and I actually got used to actually playing a handful of level 6 difficulties on it, which is it Suicide Mission? I can't remember what it's actually called. But it was where you were able to get the rare the super rare samples if you're able to find them. But I after, unfortunately, we ended up failing that. We didn't end up keeping all of the planets that we needed to, so it actually was a fail, unfortunately. So the next one that we have is killing a bunch of like high-level enemies, like the Striders and all, like Striders and things like that. Things that I don't fight against normally. Because the well, I can't remember if it's the Striders or if it's the or it's the four-legged ones that have the that are basically mobile fabricators or something. There's like killing Shriekers and Impalers, things like all these enemies that I've never fought against. So it's like, how am I going to be able to help with this order, because I don't play at the difficulty where these things spawn, you know. Anyway, last night while I was having all the issues with my game character not being able to move or anything like that, we ended up getting into this horrible fight. I played level 5s against the Terminids, and oh, the only thing that would have made it worse is if we had Stalkers. Luckily, we didn't have Stalkers that we had to fight against, but it just was constant bug breaches and things like that, and I swear, some of the people I was playing with just did not know what they were doing, and they were all higher level than me. I was like, how in the world are you guys doing this badly? Like, they kept using the jump packs, which is not the smartest thing to choose, all things considered. Jump packs are great if you need to get over a lot of, like, terrain issues, or you're trying to run around and grab all of, you know, you're trying to do super credit farming or something, because it's a high mobility. Really crap when you're trying to kill a lot of things, you know. At least that's my opinion. That's my the way I see it. Do I want to go heavy still? Yeah, sure. We'll stay on heavy for a bit longer. Yeah, I think after stream I need to take out a cleaning utensil and clean up my keyboard at least. Because I haven't had any kind of maintenance on it in at least a little while. All right.
Initial assault phase successful. Secure these new positions.
Oh, that was a wonderful landing. That landed exactly where I wanted it to go. Perk gone.
Stop, then kill.
Oh, that's Boba Fett. I was going like, who's talking? I don't recognize the voice. It's Boba Fett.
Signature's locked.
Kitty Partey. Pretty decent name. Ah! Okay. Now we're gonna upgrade. I believe someone's still on Boba Fett. Who could I play as next? 16, 12, 11. Oh, looks like someone isn't on Boba Fett, actually.
Boba Fett, at your service. Completing contract. Let's not waste time.
I find it a little weird that Riker... Oh! No!
Confuse and conquer.
No, Luke Skywalker. No, 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 no. Oh, farm boy. I'm not interested. No, 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 no. I do find it a little interesting that, it's interesting that, the jetpack uses space as well as right click, and and seemingly there's like no difference between the two controls. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. You'd think that one of them would be hover rather than just use the jetpack, but nope, that's not how it works. Apparently. Okay, someone grabbed Boba Fett, so... Yeah, Emperor Palpatine.
This will bring a quick end to things. Witness my glory.
Zappy, zappy, zappy! Be menacing. Yep, that was playing as Emperor Palpatine.
And await my orders.
Well, boy.
No one will help you.
I'm gonna go down into the sewers like a creepy guy. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Child against me.
Savage! Now, I believe you can come up out of here like this.
Such glorious devices.
Look, he is formidable. All right. He is. a little bit because all this really open space does not help.
Right, your hatred grows.
You have taught me well.
Never thought we'd meet like this.
These are troubling times.
I love that characters actually have a little bit of banter between them. It makes it feel a little bit more, I'd like to say, I want to use the term lived in. I don't think that's what it actually is. It makes it feel a little bit more authentic, a little bit more interconnected. Let's go back onto the Emperor.
I can feel your anger. It makes you strong.
Now, it's curious because if you know the history behind Yavin 4, Yavin 4 actually has some dark force, some dark force energy connected to it because it was where... Oh, which... I'm trying to remember which Sith Lord actually used Yavin 4 as his stronghold. You thinking of Dooku Paul? No, that was on Korriban.
I am eternal.
Exar Kun? I think it was Exar Kun, actually.
Shall we continue?
He discovered the Masasi people and have them build the temples like this one. And he was like the Lord of the Sith for a long time. And if you go by Legends continuity, he actually sacrificed a giant population to try and make himself immortal. So in Legends continuity, when Luke has his Jedi Academy on Yavin 4, where the old Rebel base was, he actually ran into the spirit of Ajunta Paul, not Ajunta Paul, of Exar Kun, who was still alive and actually tried to, and for a while actually succeeded in not possessing, but altering and turning one of his students, Kip Durin, to the dark side. Well, like I said, it's a legend, so it's not some... Oh! Down you go, Organa. Anyway, that's neither here nor there in all things. I always found it interesting.
Redouble your efforts.
Ah! Ooh. There we go.
You have shown that none can hope to stand against the Empire. A fine performance.
I am Goob. Back to the matchmaking again. that are electrocuted. Oh. When the chain lightning can bounce to more targets. Heck yeah. Because right now, I believe it just does, Go back to, his abilities. Hits target spread to those around them, but it doesn't say how many you'll actually hit.
The rebels are preparing an assault. Our orders are to dig and hold at all costs. Should the rebels take these positions, we'll be forced to retreat, and their attack will continue.
Scanning hostile. Throwing grenade.
Ah! I got came up from behind me. Your legs. Ah! How rude. It took it without a whole lot of difficulty because, frankly, our defense was crap. Oh, and they also have Yoda. That could do it too.
The rebel assault is now directed at these positions. They must not fall.
Looks like they're pushing B fairly strongly, so let's get up there and see if we can put a stop to that. Ow! Jeez. Okay. That's okay, though. We do have to kind of switch characters over because, yeah, this is, Specialist is not the best inside close confinements. Go ahead and stick Assault on. That's on A, and that's on B. Hey, give me 1 second. I'm going to check my task manager and see what it's doing. It's doing it again. That side program that I had problems with last night, it's doing it again. It's jumping up really high. Darn it all.
Luke Skywalker has been spotted.
Get out!
Boba Fett is here. That should give us an edge.
Already!
Oh, get out of that one. Woo! Someone's working at B. Can't have that now.
Heads down!
Ouch! Okay.
Sith are not afraid of the dark side of the Force. Die! Senator Organa, it has been a long serving us permanently. No thanks.
What's happening up with that Boba Fett is he's just smoking constantly.
This is a diversion. Eyes open.
Consider serving.
Let me work. Getting close angle.
Something is troubling you.
I sense a disturbance.
Signature's locked.
Got overwhelmed. That's okay. I still have a couple options with me.
The dark side is powerful. For all things.
So, little Ewok, come here.
They might be Jedi. No hiding. Stumble and fall.
Oh,
No way. There is Lewis. No one will find you. Something is troubling you.
ouch.
Too slow.
Ah, you're
There we go. Dark aura. Nice.
Your empire can't survive.
and your rebellion is pointless.
Nicely done, boys. Nicely done. We win overtime. There we go.
We've held off the rebel attack and won the day. A fine example of Imperial strength.
Wonderful. All right. Might is his... Ah, okay. Okay. Camino. All right. We're defending as clones, probably? Yeah, we're defending as the clones. All right. 1 second here, because I need to upgrade this.
The Separatists think they can hurt the Republic by striking at our birthplace. We'll show them what mistake they've made.
Moving in the target zone.
If the Clankers take just one position, we'll have to fall back. Man the defenses, boys. Turret ready. Hit the objective! Deploy grenade! Grenade out! Grenade deployed! The Count has just joined the Clankers. The droids have broken through our defenses. We need to fall back and regroup.
Yep, time to fall back.
Orders incoming. Turret online!
Ah, darn it.
Defenses now depend on these
I
positions.
put down my turret and then it explodes for no reason. I think it's because it's damaging. I think when the points change, it does something.
We fight! We win!
Intimidation.
Ow! Well, I made some good progress there. Let's see.
My ally is the Force.
Oh, no! Oh, man! Yoda fell to his doom. 4,000 points, right down the drain. Okay, let's do the right thing this time and run around to the right. Oh, this is the part when Luke's in the trenchway. Turns off the targeting computer. Why, if his targeting computer is off? Luke, why is your targeting computer off? Nothing. I'm all right. Force is strong with this one. I have you now. Yahoo!
Far to go, we have.
Look out! It's baked into my mind. How can you not remember all this? Oh, we need to run over to beat. Good, great shot now. Blow this thing so we can go home. Standing by. Standing by. Great shot hit, that was 1 in a million! Attacking A again. Stinking things. Back up again.
Out there, they are.
Move in, take him out.
Gotcha.
Still uncertain.
Oh, did I hear Bosk? Ah! Got me with this. Got me with the gas. Dioxis. Which I think was only ever mentioned once in the movies, and it was in episode 1, the very beginning, when they tried to gas out the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon on the Separatist ship. I don't know if they ever mentioned it in Clone Wars or anything like that, so... Ow! Dagnabbit.
Darth Maul is here. Stay focused. We're gonna pull back one last time and make a stand. To the last, brothers. Time to head back. One last stand, brothers. Don't let that clank us through, or all will be lost. Enemy car. Turret online.
Hang on, let's wait a second. Oh yeah, we can actually put it down now.
Grenade, snake way.
It's leveled up.
For the Republic!
Hello there.
I gotcha.
Hello there. Hello there. Your move.
Grenade out! Darth Maul has arrived. Be careful, brothers. The honor of our brother!
I'd rather kiss Gardula the Hutt than here.
That went pretty well, all things considered.
The dark side clouds all.
Okay.
no passion there is.
Nice. I got the last kill.
There. The Seppies have given up their attack, and Camino is safe. They'll think twice before trying that again.
Nice. Look at that. Lovely 3 ways done with all with the Jedi. Hey, we're on Felucia.
The Seppies have been disrupting the Perlemian trade route long enough. We must secure Felucia. Expect heavy fighting and beware your surroundings. Let's go, brothers. The attack will continue when we've taken a droid command post.
Ah, darn it. Not to 79, but darn it all, didn't do much further than that. Nobody here. Fantastic. Let's capture. Annoying. Looks like we're holding B, so let's hold B.
We're getting support from Master Kenobi. First attack stage complete. Well done, brothers. Tactical data shows new Separatist command posts. That's where we'll attack.
Oh, the Phantom Menace, please come on in. A lot of many enemies up there. Not nearly as many on the left. All right. Ow, 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 ow. Careful. Ow! Hooey!
Here's the part where I put all that Jedi training to good use. You guys, again? You really didn't think this through. Don't give him time to react. Can't stand when they put up a fight. I'm getting tired of this.
The video game. I believe I played a little bit. It came out on PC back in 95, 96. No, it would have been later. It would have been close to, because Phantom Menace didn't come out until 2000. I believe I do. Yeah, you play as you play through the start of the game. Yeah, 1999. Yeah. I believe I touched it for a little bit. I was crap at it though. I was 10 at the time. Not 9, 10 at the time when I tried it out, so.
Chancellor will be pleased.
Want to spread the word? Yeah. About the game itself? Well, I certainly have no problem with that. I don't have the game myself. I'm trying to remember. Didn't it get a... No, I don't think so. I don't think it got a re-release.
No problem.
Oh, it did on PS5? Did it do like... Did they like do graphic update on it or something? Or did they just release it? Okay. It's a PS1 port. Okay, so they would have done the minimum of making sure that it runs, but they didn't. But they didn't update it anyway. Because I know they did it for some other Star Wars games.
Trade flowing again.
Recently, sometime this year, they had a couple other games from that era. It was, what was it, Jedi Battles or something? It has save states, that's about it. Yeah. Jedi Power Battles, yes. I think they did that, but then they did a couple things with it that were from the original. They took out a couple things, I think. And I think a lot of people were talking about the price. It came up like for $40 or something. People were like, that's a little steep for what this is giving us, but did they add quite a lot? Okay, for some reason I saw some stink about it. I'm not quite sure why. I can't remember the reason why. Was it $20? Okay, maybe they did a package thing. Maybe that's what I was seeing. Because I think there was a package for a couple games together. Yikes. Oh, okay, so maybe they had some... Did those end up getting fixed, or... I can assume that they eventually got them working properly. Because I did hear that that went very badly. They did a good job on... Yeah, because they probably... Is it so bad? Oh, man.
We're gonna have to regroup, and then we'll fight to the
Well...
await new orders.
My guess is that somebody thought, ooh, that's going to be just kind of a plug-and-play thing. We don't have to do a whole lot. No, they had to do a bunch of stuff to make that work. Because I think it was... Because the way that game was set up was differently because it was back on the Xbox 360 and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think Steam put in a lot more effort into into making sure those ran rather than modern day consoles. Yeah, because it's an old enough they're old enough games that they do pretty well. Though to be fair, I played those things to heck and back when I played. Yeah, I played those to heck and back when I was 13, 14 or something on PC. So I was okay never going. The reconstructed mod. Yeah, I looked into that. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, it's for the originals. Probably okay. Because, like I said, I played those things pretty heavily when they were still kind of big on PC, and I was like, I'm kind of done playing these. And the only reason I'm playing this one is because I got it for free through Epic. So I'm not big on Battlefield games, funnily enough, even though I've gotten a handful of them. It just gets a little samey after a while.
Stick with the objective.
Yeah. For Jedi Academy, yeah. Yeah, I played Jedi Academy, just the campaign. I played Jedi Academy more times than I can count. I just love that game to the point where I was like, I want to play through this again, but I want it to be, I want to play through this, but I want to like use cheats and stuff so I can get like the fun lightsabers at the very beginning and have a couple more of the force powers upgraded. Not everything was like max. You didn't have like this. So you weren't like in God mode or anything, but you weren't base character, you know. Oh, okay. Wasn't that they took Jedi Academy and a guy modded it that went through like that just uses the engine? Oh, okay. I think I remember seeing something like that. The guy made the mod that like reenacted a bunch of a lot of the movie stuff, and then well, as I'm remembering, the guy had made a mod thing, and then it was so well received by LucasArts they actually hired him. It's like, we would like you to actually keep working on this because we like it so much. Am I thinking movie duels? Okay, never mind then.
We just need to hold the line a little bit longer.
I am,
When our reinforcements
as you can tell, I'm probably not well versed in a lot of like the recreated, modded stuff like that. Hello, Jack Wagon. Please come on in. Also very bad.
have a real chance at victory here, brothers. Hold the line.
Well, then I need to look into it because that actually sounds really cool. So it is? Okay, so it is. Yeah, so the game is Movie Battles.
Ball is here.
Ah! Darn it, Maul. And hit people with a pit droid. Okay, that sounds amazing. Yeah, I'd have to reload Jedi Academy onto my computer because I still used it when it was a disc. Ah! Dooku, you were fighting. Ah! Dooku, you were fighting Anakin. Why'd you turn around and attack me? How dare you? Come on.
May the force be with us all. Please, no needless disintegration.
Ah! He vanished just as I swung at him.
And now Naboo has fallen under the Separatist yoke. We can do better than that, boys.
Wow, okay. So I'd have to have Jedi Academy to have it use its engine and then get the mod. That's what I'm understanding. And that's it. Okay. Yeah, I still need. I'd like to look into that. That would be interesting because I never got into Overwatch, but I have gotten into Marvel Rivals. And if there's a Star Wars equivalent of it, I at least want to take a look because that sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. And that's about it. Oh, okay. Right, because it wants to know, okay, where do we access the engine files? Right. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and drop back out. Yeah, even though I grew up, even though I'm a 90s kid, you know, it's interesting trying to go back to anything retro. Because for some reason, dedicated server duels, oh, wow. That's very interesting. Even though I'm very much a 90s kid, I've never been much for playing a whole lot of retro stuff. The farthest back I will go is usually 16-bit. I don't, but, you know, if it's like Jedi Academy, then we're talking not super low poly, but relatively low poly design, if that's what we're going off of. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to make a list for that then. That is very interesting sounding. Oh, pardon me. Oh, okay. So they've actually got like higher quality. Okay. So they pushed it to its limits. Okay, interesting. Not often will you hear about people that will do that. I think the people who've done that the furthest, I think, is maybe Respawn with when they played games that use the Source engine. Because the Source engine is relatively old. Where are they going to, what was I going to look into? I'm going to look into something specific. What was it? Oh, that's right. I wanted to go back into the multiplayer because I wanted to look something up. So I think this is the hero and stuff like that. I don't think I have the... I still have the disrupted enemy stuff that I have to do, but I don't know how to do that. How to do that. Okay. Ah, we're on the Separatist. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy in depth if they've gotten that far. Yeah, definitely need to look into it.
Target zone.
Welcome to the Lancers.
Radarict, thank you for the follow. Please come on in.
Welcome to the Lancers.
More of a high ground. Let's go up a level. Can I go up a level from here? I think I can. There we go. Ow! Specialist nearly got me. For Pete's sakes! Oh well. I did not have the high ground. Well, I guess before, yeah, I keep forgetting that you guys are several seconds behind me, so. The beginning part, yes. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I've played some pretty, low-level moderation server stuff before, so. Ah! Anakin! Boo, 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 boo.
Target locked.
There, played him for 10 minutes. Good. Swingy swing! I'm not sure. It might get blocked. Go ahead and try. If it says remove or doesn't let you, it nothing to do with you. Yeah. Ow!
Acquiring target.
Yeah. If it doesn't, if it removes or deletes the link, just know that there's like no, I think I turned it off. I think a lot of means the followers could actually post. So yeah, go ahead and try. Yeah, there we go. And I'll actually put down a marker for myself so that I can look at that when it happens. Yeah, I think I had it originally blocked when I first started out, and then I think I changed it because somebody who'd been watching me for a long time wanted to post something. and they couldn't. So I think I changed it so then followers could do it. So, there's only so much you can do against the bots. So even though I have a lot of love for Star Wars and stuff like that, I don't play a whole lot of Star Wars games, to be fair. I think this is the only one. Oh, don't worry about spamming it. No, if you're trying to get word out about another Star Wars thing to another Star Wars fan, I have no problem with that. No, it's okay. It's okay, Akilo. I'm doing pretty good. It's been it's been a week for me so far. So I mainly do video games. I've only ever done video games. I think I'll do other stuff eventually. I mean, I could go into 3D printing or the 3D modeling aspect that was my job at some point. But right now it's just video games. I do have a schedule up. If you end up taking a look at it, the main reason why I wanted to start playing on stream is because, one, it always sounded fun to me, and two, I have a boatload of games that I have not played yet that I would like to, and I feel like being on stream has made me actually work through games a little bit more. So the main thing I play is I'm just playing things that I have in my library, and the library just steadily grows as I get free games or load new stuff. So I don't play a whole lot of Star Wars games, even though I'm a big Star Wars fan. It's kind of smoldered a little bit. My passion and liking of Star Wars has smoldered a little bit since the latest trilogy came out. Not a big fan of the new stuff, but of the new movie stuff. Some of the shows have been amazing. I love some of the shows. Mandalorian's great. I've loved The Bad Batch and things like that. So, but I played through a handful of different games. So I've been going through. On Mondays, I'm playing Marvel's Avengers. It came out in 2021, I think. It was that live service Square Enix game done by Crystal Dynamics that got so much. Oh yeah, Andor. Andor's great. Though I will say I was not a fan of the character himself. He almost felt like an anti-hero in some cases. It's like, I'm only doing what I want to do. I'm not going to be part of something else. Anyway, so I've been playing through Marvel's Avengers. I actually beat the game just this last Monday. Tuesday, I've been playing kind of stuff in my library rather than regular stuff. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are kind of ongoing games that I play, as opposed to playing something different every day. And Tuesdays and Thursdays are a dedicated game from my libraries. So for the most part, Mondays have all been Marvel-related. It's either been Marvel Rivals or Marvel's Avengers. Wednesday has been either Star Wars Battlefront 2 or Helldivers 2. And Friday, it's either been Ubisoft games or Final Fantasy XIV content when new stuff comes out. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, right now I'm doing Rebel Galaxy, which I've gotten into a couple times. I never got into Marvel Snap. I've not been keen on card games, like specific card games. I have played them in the past, but just not on stream. I've heard that Marvel Snap is pretty good, but I never got in. I never really interested me because I think I heard a lot about Hearthstone and some other games. I was like, oh, it's going to be like that, but Star Wars themed. Or Marvel themed. And I was like, I don't know. Paper on online. Yeah. I found that I've lost interest in playing the card games like physically. If I'm able to play them a digital version, I kind of can be interested in that, but they also monetize it to heck and back because that's just the nature of those games. So I didn't get into Marvel Snap. I have gotten into a couple mobile games, but I am particularly frugal with my money. Just kind of how I am, so I don't splurge on anything in particular. So yeah, so where I live, there's a mall in the town just north of me. I'm on the very north end of one town. On the very south end, there's a big mall. And I will go there on Friday sometimes with my sister and her husband. and it's a very nerdy place where people can come and play D&D and card games like Magic all the time. So yeah, I watched them play the 4-man commander deck magic stuff. My brother-in-law is very much into the Magic and kind of the meta of like making decks and stuff like that. So yeah, I've never had a whole lot of interest in it. I think that the reason is that unless you know the game really well, there's constantly a question of, yeah, it's the most played format today. Yeah. With card games, I think unless you have somebody who like knows the rules really, really well, it gets to think of like, can I do this? Can I not do this? You know, there's the whole what is it called? It's the order of the phases and stuff. If you know the phase order and stuff, it gets really tricky of like, okay, how do things actually interact in a way that benefits the way I want to do them? No, I've heard that Commander has been really popular, and the Final Fantasy 14 cards have been, well, at least all the Final Fantasy cards have been really popular. They've been huge. And, yeah. Well, and I'm not saying that, like, if you can't follow the rules properly, you're breaking the rules, you're not playing it right. I'm not saying that. It's one of those things of, like, if I don't know the rules really, really well, I'm going to struggle with the game. Just with my ADD and, just all the stuff that I have to struggle with as is. When I was younger, I was interested in it, but I've lost interest in it since, and I've never really wanted to get back into it, I think. It just didn't appeal to me again. So, no, but for everybody who does enjoy those things, more power to you. Believe me. Having a hobby that's not video games is always cool, We're gonna skitter. Out of my way! Woo! Yeah. I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was a kid. I got into Magic the Gathering a little bit afterwards, and I always loved looking at the cards, seeing the flavor text, and stuff like that, but playing the game itself, not so much. It more was just enjoying the artwork, as well as what you could use to, like, what cards you could put into a deck, what you could build around. That has always been interesting to me. Kind of the methodology of how you'd actually make how you'd make yourself decks for it. So, if that makes sense, I can see where the appeal comes a lot. It's like, oh, that card would be really cool in this deck, or I could build around this meta of making lots of tokens or something like that. Yeah, so. When I started getting interested in Magic, sliver decks were becoming all the rage. So, and when I first learned about Magic, it was 7th edition, I believe. So, that kind of gives you a stake of kind of where I'm at. I actually have a bunch of cards. Right here in this deck here, I have a bunch of cards that I've got. They're everything from like 3rd edition up to a bunch of other stuff. So. Yeah, I've actually been going through and kind of evaluating kind of the value of cards right now. A lot of them are penny cards. They cost less than 10 cents, a piece. Yeah. Well, I think the other thing is that people who get really into the games and actually go into like tournaments and stuff, now you have to play around a certain strategy of like, this is the killer card in my deck. Yeah. Yeah, beast decks and stuff. I got big into artifact stuff for a little bit because I thought artifacts, you can kind of do whatever you want with them. They kind of synergize with a lot of different cards and builds. Oh, we get to play as our jet trooper. See if we can get more of it. I'm actually from the U.S., Western U.S. So, and that's as far as I'll go currently. I try not to give too close of an address of where I am, just out of safety and caution. Yeah, so I was originally born in Texas. Yeah, in dollars, yeah.
We have allowed subversive elements.
Are you from the UK? It seems like when you mentioned pounds, you're defaulting to the currency you know. Are you in the UK? Oh, I'm not British, no. Now, oh, you're from Germany. Cool. That's great. I know somebody who's from Austria. He watched my streams for a long time. Oh, it's interesting. Now I'm curious why you thought I might have been from Britain, actually. Purely out of curiosity. It's not like I'm like accusatory or anything like that. Is it just the way I speak? Is it like how I form words and stuff? Is that what you're thinking, maybe? No, but I can imagine that you can make some. No, not an insult at all. Not at all. No. British hair? Oh, the hair is tilted. It's actually brown. It's actually a very dark blonde. It's a very typical brown. Brown hair, blue-eyed. If I remember my ancestry correctly, I actually have Celtic and I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was Celtic and I think Danish. The southern U.S. look, yeah. You see, not far off. Well, I'm not southern. Well, I guess Dallas would technically be southern. That's kind of Midwestern, though. I'm further west than that. So, I'm not California, but I'm close to California. But, you can kind of tell the dialect a little bit. I have just a touch of the kind of the southern. Okay. Twang. I don't have the twang. I'm sure I might have gotten a little bit of it if I'd lived in Texas for longer, but I was there until I was like 4, so I could barely speak as is. And then we moved to the state we're in now, so. And I've been there ever since. I've been in the state since I was 4, and so it's been nearly 30 years, you know. Actually, it has been 30 years. Because we would have moved when I was 4.5. I think we moved in the summer of 95, I think. We moved right after my sister was born, who was born in 95, spring of 95. So, you know, in certain instances, I can understand it. The Southern Belle sound, oh, it sounds amazingly attractive at times. No, there's a reason why the Southern drawl in some women is seen as really attractive. Though, of course, it comes with like the proper raised Southern dialect rather than just redneck, you know, because you can't go too far. You can't go too far to a point of like, eh. But no, whenever I see a proper Southern, yeah. Now, High German, I've never heard of that. Is that like a more aristocratic version of German itself, of Germanic, or because I don't think I've ever heard of that. Is it a dialect thing? Like depending on where you are in Germany, is the dialect you get? Because I know they do that a lot in Britain. Depending on where you're from, what region you're in, will speak of your dialect. Normal without the dialect, okay. It's called High German? Oh, okay. So I had a father, so my dad went to Germany on a religious mission. So he hasn't used it a whole lot, but we had a very old couple that we would visit every month that had German roots. So they would always speak a little German. They were Hegerhorst was the last name, I believe. I was like, oh, that's a very German name. But, he does... Yeah, Baptist, so a lot of the Christian stuff, yeah, I'm Christian, I am Christian, so, It kind of depends on which denomination you go into. Yeah.
A special operative is deployed.
I'm not Baptist itself. I'm another Christian. Denomination, but yeah. And it kind of depends on your upbringing. I know some people who did go on missions, people who didn't go on missions. It depends on if you want to or not. It is encouraged, but it kind of depends on your life circumstances in most cases, I would imagine. So, anyway, not need to go into religious or anything like that. So, but yeah, Germany's interesting. I know that my dad would love to go back. Yeah, I can see that. Well, I'll say I don't know a whole lot about Germany itself. I mean, I know about the major like world war powers and stuff like that. That typically I would assume is a slightly taboo to talk about because that was not a bright side of Germany for a while. So, but I've rarely talked to somebody who is German, so I don't know. I don't know the context, and I don't try to follow stereotypes because I know for a fact that a lot of time is just not true. So, which I think is good. A lot of people will shy away from kind of the nastier side of things, and I think a lot of the U.S. doesn't try to remember stuff that things that kind of darken our history. We try not to bring in stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's slung all the time in politics, which just makes it even worse. No, I think my dad has wanted to go back to Germany and see the old mission because I think he was in where was he? Was he in Frankfurt? Yeah, that sounds about right. I think he was in Frankfurt back during, when would that have been? That would have been back during, let's see, he was born in 65, so it would have been about the late 70s, early 80s. Oh, are you from Frankfurt? Haha, cool. I had a
Stage 2 complete.
I wouldn't call him elderly, but he was like in his 50s. Yeah, I think it might have been divided Germany. I'm not sure. Because Berlin stopped back in the late 80s. It broke down in like 88, didn't it?
Secure those command posts.
So I'm pretty sure the Berlin Wall came down before I was born. 89, thank you. Yeah, so he was down during that time, and then I had a coworker for about a year. He originally was from Hamburg, so of course I made the horrible cheesy joke with him. It's like, so you're a hamburger, right? No, but Germany, that's really cool. Like I've actually played some online games with people from Britain and like Spain and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever touched anybody from Germany though. So no, I'm glad to see. I'm glad to hear somebody from another. So you said you're from Germany. Are you still in Germany, or is that just where you were born and raised? Okay. No, there's some near Cologne. Okay. Smelliest place in Europe. Then I need to get that sound alert so I can make cheesy puns. Ah! No, Ray. No, I don't want to play high. He mind tricked again. Stop it, Ray. I'm trying to keep some distance and.
Captain Phasma has arrived to oversee the battle.
Oh, is that all they have in Cologne? Okay. I mean, the only joke about Cologne is that that's where you get the Cologne thing, but yeah. Yeah, I've heard Amsterdam is absolutely amazing. I've heard it's like if you go to Europe, like in general, Amsterdam is a place to stop too. Yeah. No, I've heard so much about Amsterdam. No, we did let's see. So oh yeah, I'm sure the culture is absolutely amazing. No, I've heard such good things. Yeah, it's one of those picturesque places because Amsterdam is big into bikes and stuff like that. Well, and it's interesting in Europe because I could travel 5 hours and just go into the next state, or reach like one state from here, and not all the states surrounding me. I could go into 2 states. But if you travel anywhere 5 hours in Europe, you'll probably cross through maybe a couple different countries. You know. Unless you're in, like... Yeah. It's the fact of traveling and you're not getting out of the country is... Yeah. Well, and, you know, if you do the crazy stuff, like if you do a long road trip from across country or something, that can take days if you're not pushing yourself crazy hard. If you're, yeah, there's a lot of things that are done in Europe that I wish we were able to do in the U.S., but because of the size differences in landmass and in states itself, it's just not feasible. I would love if there was more train travel. You know, you hop on a train, you'd stay in a sleeper car for maybe a couple days, and you're on the East Coast, you know, by the end of it. I think that would be amazing, but there's just really, the infrastructure is just not built for it. Yeah, well, yeah, and that's the other thing is that happens when you go to certain stretches of the U.S., and that's also it. It's mostly in the north where that is, because you start hitting Canada and all that stuff. Yeah. No, I would love to go back. I think so. We did a family trip. So a little backstory. The high school that we went to had a teacher, the World Civ teacher, Mr. Rigby, I think. Every year, he would invite all of his senior students to potentially go on a European trip for like 3 weeks, and he did it for like the 20-something years he'd been working at the school. Hi, Diex, please come in. And the last year, and because he was World Civ, yeah, seriously, the guy was amazing. He actually retired, and now his daughter, who's been on a lot of trips, actually does it now. I don't know if they still do, but I'm pretty sure they still do. No, but because World Civ was one of the generals that you had to take for at least one semester, a lot of people knew about the trip, so they would go on it with their families and stuff. And I think it was, at the time, per person for the whole trip was like $4,000 or something. And this was before pandemic, so the inflation is not nearly as bad. And for what we got out of it, $4,000 was a steal. I mean, to do it alone would have cost for 3 weeks, and we went over a good chunk of Western Europe. Oh, probably, but because it was through like a tour guide, business and stuff like that, we got it got like reduction in prices and package deals and stuff like that. So it was far more reasonable. So we hit London for a day, we hit France for a day, we crossed over into Switzerland, and our tour guide was Italian, so we actually stayed in Italy. We went all the way down Italy for like a week. By the end of it, we were all toast. But we stayed in Lucerne, Switzerland for a day and a half, I think, before we started heading down into Italy. And Lucerne was amazing. I would go back to Lucerne. Venice was amazing. I I would probably not necessarily go back there again because it was so crowded and there's such a tourist market there. It didn't feel as impressive as going to some place like Lucerne. I would probably go back to France or London, yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite part of the US? What has been the coolest thing you've seen in the US? I'm curious. Because whenever you're in the US, you always hear about people here. It's like you either go to certain states for certain like landmarks or attractions, or you go to Europe, and Europe is like the exotic thing to do. So I'm curious what it's like for a European to come over to the US and go like, what did we see here? What was really cool about seeing here? Yeah, New York. No, New York is a big draw. Went to Boston a couple of years ago. Went to Cape Cod and those areas like that. Yeah. No, now New York is a big one that you'll see. If you go to Florida or California, those are also big. Florida more for the amusement parks, like in like Orlando, going to like Disney World and Epcot and California Adventure and stuff like that. Oh, sweet, dude. Well done.
Preparing an assault.
Is it going to be in New York specifically?
To dig and hold at all costs.
Oh, cool. I hope you're able to find a very picturesque place to go and do it. Because I know that people do things like from the top of the Empire State Building, they'll do it at the docks, they'll do it Madison Square Gardens or something like that. I would find a good Rockefeller Center. Okay, no, that will work. I would certainly look into potentially off the map kind of places that could be more picturesque and not quite so well known, perhaps. If possible. I've noticed that when people go traveling, you can see all the big tourist attractions, but it's what everybody goes and sees. If you're able to find stuff that's kind of out of the way, that's not as well known, you tend to like those more because the tourists aren't necessarily there, at least in as big numbers. And oh, you've been thinking about it from believe me, dude. So November, you said? Okay, so this could be like Christmas thing. This could be almost like a Christmas kind of setup. No, believe me, dude. When it finally gets there, it's gonna be worth it. Honestly. How long have you been with your girlfriend? You've been with her for a couple years at least?
There's a Wookiee fighting with the rebels.
Yeah, the Christmas stuff on top of it. 4 years. Long time. But that's actually not a bad time, though. I mean, in certain places you can go to, people are getting married in 6 months or something, and then they get divorced, 10 years later because it was nothing like they were expecting. 4 years? That's a good chunk of time, though. So, yeah, good on you. Yeah, if you're going through during Thanksgiving, the Christmas stuff will be out. Yeah. If you're lucky, it'll be snowy. Not heavy snow, but it will be a light snow or something. That can make things magical. No, but congratulations. I hope it goes well for you. Oh, she's planning the wedding already. It's just the proposal. Very picturesque. You don't want it ruined. No, seriously. Well done. For somebody who's never actually had, like, an actual in-person girlfriend, I've had long-distance relationships, but I've never actually been, like, in a proper relationship itself. I gotta give kudos to anybody who actually does it. Because it's a struggle for me, personally. So are you big into any other franchises? Clearly we have a thing. Oh, well, so I've gotten a lot better at it since I started streaming this year. I started at the beginning of this year. It's not necessarily an attachment thing. I think it's I've become far more of a cynical individual as I've gotten older. Yeah, it is kind of personal. I'll lay this out. Because I do have an opinion on it. I feel like a lot of the people in the culture that I was raised in are a little bit more peculiar, and it is partly religious. Not that the religion is necessarily holding me back, but I feel like there's an expectation that's set that creates a very false stigma And it makes it so that everybody's trying to find the perfect person. They're not willing to settle for somebody who fits 80% of what they need or 70%. It's like they have to be perfect. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody who I can become friends with, that I just really enjoy being around, and that isn't perfect, because I know that's not a realistic expectation. But I feel like a lot of the people who I try looking around or something, they're very particular. Yeah.
The princess will attempt
With a southern twang, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Being very much of a nerd, there's a very typical class of people who are very nerdy. And unfortunately, I think it also is on me. There's also somewhat of an unreal expectation of, like, I'd like someone who's nerdy but also actually looks fairly attractive. I mean, it's a bad stereotype, but unfortunately it's somewhat true. Hang on, I've been talking a lot. I need a drink here. That nerdy people rarely are super attractive. They're not super athletic or thing like that. So, like, trying to find a girl that would be actually really attractive to me, which I've been working on. I understand that's a very false... Yeah. But looks aren't the only thing. I feel like, because when I'm in 30 years, I'm not going to look amazing. I'm going to look like a plump old man. That's just kind of how it's going to be. Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like all the people who have the same kind of interest in all the nerdy things that I do are not particularly attractive, at least to me. They don't. They're not careful with their health necessarily. I don't know. They're just a lot more homely, and they just don't care about their physical appearance as much as I feel like they should. Like, if it's... Yeah. And I'm not saying I haven't met beautiful people. There are amazing looking women in my area. But I feel like they wouldn't be into the same hobbies I'm in. I mean, these are not the kind of women you'd expect to sit down and play a video game with you. It's kind of not their deal. The traveling, going to concerts kind of thing. Not exactly my shtick. And I'm a little bit of a homebody, so there's that. That comes with the social anxiety and the ADD by itself as is, anxiety and stuff like that. Financial security is kind of a thing for me, because I certainly don't have it. So it's something it's a bunch of things that are coming together, that kind of come together to a point of, like, yeah, it's going to be tricky to find someone like that. Yeah. And that's true. I mean, there's people who will show up at the card shop that I mentioned earlier. There are people that show up at the card shop. It's like, I didn't expect them to walk into a place like this, Though that they are few and far in between. And it's not the whole thing of, like, I'm so nerdy, it's hard to, like, get away from the nerdy stuff, but yeah. Yeah. I think it's the thing of, I very much enjoy video games, and video games, I know, is not for everybody. I'm very aware of that. I would like my significant other to be interested in video games. At least to the point of, like, knowing that I'm doing it for the experience. If somebody was a big fan of, like, cinema, of, like, certain movies, and, like, they had like, certain directors or certain actors, yeah. And I see couples do it. I see couples that can do it. My own sister. My own sister and her husband, they're very much into video games. He's gotten her into video games she never would have touched otherwise. And they've been enjoying it immensely as a thing that they can do together. The problem is that there just seems to be... Is Counter-Strike? Oh, that would be great. Let's see. A lot of stuff that my sister's gotten into, it's been some shooters as well as a lot of he's got her into he got her into Destiny 2 for a little bit. They've stopped playing now because it's not worth their time anymore. But it's got them into playing like RPGs together. So like Baldur's Gate 3. They've been playing what is it? It's yeah, I think so. I'm certainly not against doing other stuff like that. It's the fact that it just by itself it might not be interesting to me, but I would not necessarily have an issue of getting into my SO's hobbies. Yeah. I mean, it would depend on what it would be like. I mean, if it would be something like if it was something that was like super boring to me, it would probably hang off, but it's not like I would be like I would at least give them a try, you know. But I realized, yeah, this just really not is for me, you know? I mean, one thing that I would find hard would be, you know, if they're really big into, like, watching Hallmark movies or something. It's like, oh, gosh. That would be hard, I think. You know, when I was younger, I was like, I could probably get into Hallmark stuff. No, I've seen the crap that goes into Hallmark stuff. It is manufactured fluff. Purely and simply because that's what people want. That's what that group of people want. You know, and I don't expect my significant other to necessarily play with me, but understand that, you know, they're not against video games or something. That's what I prefer. It's like, understand that, you know, I would come home from, oh, thank you so much for the sub. I so appreciate that. It's not so much the fact of that they, like, video games is a requirement, but understanding that video games is probably something I do to unwind. Therefore, they need to be at least comfortable with me playing games consistently, you know. It would have to be very much a thing that I would have to compromise on of, I can't come home from, I wouldn't be able to come home from a theoretical work day and say, hi, honey, I'll have dinner and then I'll play video games for three hours until, you know, bedtime and not spend any time with you. That's pushing it. Because I know that they're going to want to spend time with me necessarily. But, you know, if it's something like they do something, yeah. Gotta keep eyes open, yeah. Well, and it you know, it is far more the thing of I've been rejected from, you know, I've asked plenty of people out on dates and I've gotten rejection right off the bat. You know, it stings, but it's, I think it's as much the time I took to work up the courage to ask is, it's like I put all this effort to muster up it and it didn't come out to a good result, you know. I think that's the thing that disappoints me the most, is that it took me so long to work up the courage to even ask, and it immediately turned into a regret. Despite the fact there clearly is like no issue about going on a single date, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, because I'm aware that's far more likely to happen. But it's like, even one date wouldn't hurt. Why are you... I mean, unless you're already dating somebody, there's a problem there. But, you know, if it was a case of, like, I don't see any single reason why we couldn't go on one date just to see what it's like, you know. But they're saying, like, no, just immediately off the bat. That kind of is kind of a turnoff. And yeah, that is the worst it could be. It could be the worst of, they say no and nothing comes of it. Oh yeah, you didn't want to have the ad? Oh, well, I could have, yeah. It could have been a case of, oh, ads probably coming up. Let me take a break here, but I appreciate the sub all the same. Yeah, I still haven't come up with a sub. Well, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it, so. Yeah, so I can be socially awkward, and even though I've been working on that for the last couple of years, it's still hard. I can't see my buddies in front of me, so I don't know if the grenades are being ricocheted back. Yes, I have been on dating apps. I've been on a couple dating websites. You might have heard of Mutual. It's kind of a Christian focused dating app. I've been on that for a little bit, and I've actually been able to go on a couple dates, but no, I have looked into it. I do think the problem is that people who are looking on those dating apps, unless they're, this is where part of my cynicism comes in, because I feel like they're looking for the perfect person to show up as a profile out of the blue, like Prince Charming, which is just not realistic. But I have faith that it's more viable for me because it's easier for me to actually connect with people. It's not a good mindset to have. It's not. But that's what it feels like coming from. And the problem is that somebody who told me in my church group, they said dating apps in general are not good for you because it always is a bad ratio of men to women. You will always find more men on a dating site, rather than women. There'll always be less women available to the dating pool of the website or the app versus the men.
Each victim adds to my score.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, that's very much the stigma, I think. Is that in terms of finding somebody, women kind of have the lion's share because men are more desperate. I know that's not necessarily a great thing to say, but it's kind of true.
Quicker.
And that certainly is the way that society puts it, is like men are desperate to find women and women are desperate to find someone good rather than just kind of whoever. Yeah. I feel like there's an expectation by how you where you're raised up, how you were raised. There's an expectation of how it actually is, and then there's a way that society portrays it. And it's never any one of those things. Never one of those things is true. It's a combination of all of them. It's a factor of all of those. So, yeah. Sorry if I'm clearing my throat a lot and stuff. I rarely get people in my chat, so at least to talk at length. So my throat's not used to it. Not necessarily restrictive, but just, well, I guess in a way, yeah. Having grown to certain standards and getting used to those standards and kind of breaking out of them, kind of breaking out of the norm. Oh, yeah. And I know some people who are like that. I actually went on a date with a gal who was very much not, who didn't eat meat very often. She was far more into plant proteins. A lot of lentils and beans and things like that.
Incredible as it might sound, ComScan has detected an incoming resistance assault group. They will pay a high price for their impertinence. Ready the defenses.
Well, another thing I'll be willing to admit is that anytime anything really stresses me out, I kind of run away to video games, because even though video games can be stressful, I find them relaxing and not as much entertaining, but allowing me to live a style of where I'm actually decent at something. Oh yeah, and that's great. That's wonderful. That you're able to find somebody who also shares that, because that makes meal planning a little easier. Oh, that's sweet. No, I see a lot of those videos of people finding abused or neglected animals and rescuing them, and I find it so sad that that's something that happens nowadays. It takes a special kind of kindness to take a quote-unquote stray animal out of the wild or whatever and take care of it yourself, because that is that can be a lot of extra, stress on your part that you take. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the ones that I've seen actually are vetted by certain, like, care societies. It's usually individuals who are associated that will come and take care of them. It won't go to, like, a lot of the ones I see for, like, livestock, they're actually, like, animal sanctuaries where animals go, like, hardworking, a lot of, stock animals that are used for, like, labor, like, so horses and bulls, a lot of times, they will go to a place where they are just taken care of for the rest of their days. They don't have to go do anything. It's usually horses. Usually horses is where I see it. But a lot of times the pets or something, they usually get adopted by the people who grab them, yeah. I think working for some kind of like an animal sanctuary would be amazing work to do, because you go out to find animals that need help, that have not been cared for in good ways, and actually give them life and companionship with other animals that have been in other things. Like, yeah, absolutely. So going a little bit more into me, I originally wanted to go into video games, so I got an associate's in graphic design. This was about the time when microtransaction stuff was incredibly pushed in newer games. Heck, it would have been Battlefront 2, this one, and when I actually decided not to go into video games. Because of all the microtransactions that happened with this game. I said, like, oh, I probably don't want to go into video games anymore. That was the tipping point, I think. It had been building for a while. But having done job shadow to people who were having shadow job people who actually were in the industry, I'm hearing about all the times they were constantly looking for work, and kind of the financial abuse that the big game companies will do for profits, and how the workers are crunched, or they were for the most part still crunched. All that just all combined together is like, I don't think I want to work for an industry like this, because... Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm very much a Windows person, but I've heard Linux has been gaining a lot of steam recently. But looking at that, and then I had a cousin of mine reach out to me and say, you know, if you want to turn your hobby into work, it stops becoming your hobby. It's now your work. And I kind of took that to heart, of like, if I really like video games, do I want to turn them into a job where when I come home, I don't want to think about video games? That's a hard stretch. So, that also was a part of the factor of, like, if I want to keep a love of video games, maybe I need to keep them as a hobby and not have them as work. Though there is a bit of an odd juxtaposition where you could be a streamer and play games and have that be a job. Oh, yeah.
Resistance attack has been soundly beaten back. They will not try that again.
And for somebody who's never dug into... The closest I've been to Linux is using Steam. That's as close as it's ever been. And I've never done anything server-related. The most I've ever done is 3D modeling software. Tiny bit of coding. Tiny. But not much else, yeah. Yeah, so I originally went into animation because I wanted to work in video games. But then I decided to side shift from that because I didn't like the prospects I was looking at into mechanical drafting, which is working under mechanical engineers for the most part, doing the technical drawings for them. And I've liked that. The problem is that that's not a degree, that's a certification. So a lot of companies now are wanting people who have who have engineering degrees. And it's only really big companies that will splurge for draftsmen. But draftsman, it's kind of a weird hybrid job because you kind of have to know a lot about the engineering to give proper and good technical draft. Anyway, so I've been in a handful of jobs in that space, still looking for a new job now it's been a year and a couple months, maybe 14 months or so, of looking for work now. Not to mention that the job market right now in the U.S., right where I am, is not particularly great. There are a lot of people in the kind of in my region that are struggling to find work. It doesn't help that the AI industry is kind of trying to edge in and kind of push people out. So yeah, at the moment, I feel like I'm not making headway in trying to find a job, but I'm also trying to find a different kind of job to be in, because I think I've kind of gotten over the mechanical draftsman stuff. Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing, is that even if you have a college degree, there's a good chance you will not you will not work a job that requires that degree. But the fact that you have a degree is kind of what matters. You know, I've talked to a lot of people who have gotten a degree in, you know, what was the latest one that I heard about? There was somebody who was looking for work, and the job that they were holding was like data entry or something like that. They had a degree in archaeology. Nothing close to what they needed for like the business that they were working for, but it was like, you get what you can get. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that, well, and even I didn't pay for, I paid for my old college, didn't even take out a loan. I paid for part of my college, as well as a little bit of a federal grant that they have around here. Yeah, that's another thing that is it just Germany, or is it Europe in general where college is free? Because I can't keep the difference. I know that some of the really like top Europe in general. Okay, yeah, it's a very different system, because I went to a community college, so rather than doing something like, yeah, that's such a thing, is that because of the prestige of the colleges wherever they are, you usually have to pay for them. There's rarely a case of, because if the college was going to be free, the taxes would have to be higher. I think that's the problem. Yeah, if you're going to like a very posh specific college or something like that, then you're paying extra. But that usually is a case of people who are certain social circles or whatever. But just a, yeah, but for and that's really kind of the idea of community colleges and trade schools here in the U.S. is that it's cheaper college. It's something you only have to spend a few $1,000s on. You know, you don't have to spend tens of thousands. You don't have to pay off a loan for 30 years. You know, you're not taking out a mortgage on your education. And then you also get these other kinds of
If you survive.
yeah. The dorms are just yeah. It just means nicer, and the meals are probably better quality. Not to saying that it's not like lousy food you're getting or necessarily, but yeah, it's just a different kind of quality. And believe me, there's a lot of push in the U.S. to make college free. in many instances. The problem is that it's just the systems that are built right now in terms of how money is funded, through what taxes we have and stuff like that. That it's been around for a lot of years, so it's really hard to change that. Though there are some people who have worked on that. There have been some organizations of very wealthy individuals who will spend into a fund that will take care of certain certain years will get their tuition taken care of. So it's not completely free, but they take they take the biggest lump sum that you have to pay and take care of it, so they don't have to worry about it so much. So yeah. Speaking of education, yeah. Oh, tell me about it. That is a constant thing to talk about nowadays, of privatization and all that stuff. It's constantly talked about these days, and it's constantly griped about because it's just a broken system. But nobody's human enough to actually try and or morally attracted to it that they'll try and change the system. In terms of education, what kind of education have you gotten? I'm curious.
Weakened attack.
It's crazy, a lot of the stuff that we put up with, and it's pretty crazy about all the stuff that we actually don't like about the stereotype of Americans, because a lot of it is just kind of manufactured crap, like all stereotypes. Though to be fair, patriotism, I will feel very happy to be American, when the big holidays come around, like the 4th of July. I'm happy to be American, but there's a lot of times when it sucks, honestly. If it was a case of living someplace where it was cheaper and I knew a second language or something, I would totally move out of the US. If there were certain circumstances done, I would actually go move somewhere else. But there just happens to be a lot of circumstances like all my family lives in the same state as me, except for a couple outliers and stuff. Okay. Yeah, the experience. Yeah, absolutely.
Sport is what matters, not credits.
No, I very much agree with you that the experience matters more than anything else. The problem is that unless you get a job that lets you get experience, how do you get the experience to get a job? It's very much a chicken and the egg kind of question. Well, that's cool. Now it's interesting because I have ADD and I'm and I have neurodiversity and stuff like that. People say, well, there's a lot of jobs in IT for individuals like that, and unfortunately, I'm not one of those that would be interested in that. Unfortunately, interested in learning IT. Unfortunately, it just is rather complex to me. And even though I did stuff like I think I took a website class to kind of learn the basics of website design and stuff like that, it never was. Oh, risk management and crisis management? Oh, yeah.
The rebel attack and won the day.
Well, yeah, well, risk management and crisis management, is that handling, for server-wise, is that like cybersecurity? Or are we talking about crisis management like natural disasters and things like that? No, yeah. Okay. Yeah, the Russians, unfortunately, are just... Yeah, the Russians just cause all kinds of problems. Yeah. No, there's a constant considerable issue with cybersecurity because as soon as new stuff has come up to defend against bad actors, the bad actors have gained access to similar kind of tech that to get around it. It's very much a chess game. A never-ending chess game where checkmate is always only a few steps away. And I could never get into that, honestly. It's very interesting to hear about sometimes. You know, there's a guy on YouTube who was a well-to-do homebrew hacker who got caught, went to prison, and then actually kind of turned his life around, and now is very much an advocate against of teaching about cybersecurity. And he does what he calls ethical hacking, where he'll find bad actors who hack, and he'll hack them back to make sure that they can't be a problem anymore. He like works with like law enforcement and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. I imagine that there's a lot of scummy stuff behind the scenes that are done. I mean, I'm constantly aware of white box hacks. Okay, I've not heard that term, but yeah, this kind of ethical hacking of like, we do this for the profit of the company, and just slightly more than our wanting to keep our customer base happy or keep everybody safe. You know, Google is a big one. Google constantly has people stare at it because they do all kinds of stuff that they say that is good for the security of the company when it's, you know, good for the consumer when it's just as much good for them as the company, as the company itself. Ouch. Having worked a handful of jobs, I realized that I prefer smaller companies in general. Less bureaucracy, less red tape and stuff.
My attack plan was a success. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. They have had a... Yeah, I believe it's called bug bounty hunting.
Assault plan
People will go in and they'll try and find bugs to... And some companies do this. Some video games, some of the bigger ones will do it. Rockstar did it for GTA 5. There was a guy who figured out a loading issue to make the game load up faster. The guy got 10 grand for it. He did a bit more. He came up with a system that actually would change it. He actually was able to like look into the code of the game and found it. But yeah, there are companies where they will do. Well, and it was a lot more. He ended up finding a lot more about it. He actually implemented a thing and actually showed it to Rockstar and said, "Here's your problem. I fixed your problem." And they gave him a big payout. They gave him a fairly big payout for it. But no, I've heard about people doing security for, you know, for all kinds of companies, cyber or physical, and they get paid good money because they're trying to break the system that's set up and try to implement better practices, better solutions, better protocols and policies and stuff. So yeah, I think that's true. I think that it's also because it's capitalism for the most part. I mean, when you say we get paid more in general, I think it's because, yeah, you get a third more. I think the thing is that because you're in Europe and because of a lot of the things that you guys have decided to do, like the free education stuff, your taxes are higher. Because I know in certain places, like 50% of your paycheck goes to taxes and stuff like that. You only get 50% of what you are supposedly making because a lot of it goes into the social services and stuff. It's not quite the same here, but the other fact is that because a lot of things are privatized, the private sector, prices are higher in general because that's what they do. Not to mention inflation, I'm sure, is crazy higher because we're a bigger country. Not to mention that we're also one of the big superpowers.
The rebel Han Solo has
Yeah.
Watch out.
Well, the problem is that it feels a lot of time like a lot of people in the U.S. Kind of have this impression that we have to be the universal police of everybody because we're one of the superpowers, and I hate that thought. I kind of wonder how Europeans in general think about us as Americans if we... Yeah. Well, that's because Germany has been in part of the first 2 world wars, and whether we have a third is another thing. Yeah, history is just nasty about it. So understandably, yeah, it makes sense for Germany to be in that position of like, we can't really do anything. You do get into a lot of manufacturing though. You don't necessarily have like a military complex for manufacture, but you guys are well known for your efficiency and superb quality at stuff, not just military in general. But oh yeah, I think it's because you guys just have, yeah, you just don't use them. I think in some cases that is the best possible outcome, is that you're extremely efficient at what you do, but you don't use it for personal gain in that sense, if that makes any sense. You know, but I do wonder that, you know, I kind of wonder about talking to anybody in Europe and saying that I'm American. I wonder what the viewpoint is, because I know that I'm sure a lot of the world thinks our president is an idiot, which he is. Oh yeah, and I think in America, France gets a little bit more of a pass because they helped us break out from Britain, though that is 200 years and counting at this point. It kind of can't be a pass. But I think France has also had a longer history. Yeah. I think that's the biggest issue. If nukes weren't an issue, there wouldn't be a war. There wouldn't be a problem. The problem is nukes are the thing. And that's something that's been allocated and become a thing since, for 70 years. And that's the reason why we had a whole Cold War thing. Yeah. Also, e-scooters, yeah, because that's a thing.
Luke Skywalker is here. Vader should be informed.
Yeah, I wish there was some things that we could change. Number one, I would have Russia get out of Ukraine. Just bar none. It's out of there. I honestly wonder what will happen when Putin dies, sooner rather than later, because it feels like this is his own personal war that he's pushing to try and bring back the USSR. Yeah, they've lost so much, but they've gained a lot too. They've gained a lot of Ukraine. Yeah. Well, at this point, it's very much a police state. You do anything that you dislike. If you say anything that you dislike about the Russian government, you get locked up. You know, it's... Yeah, holding is different than gaining. Fair enough. No, but I feel like... Yeah, so the things I would change in the world today, if I could, I would change... Well, things I would change in America, I would get rid of a two-party system. It's been broke for 200 years. It's annoying at this point. Or at least kick out everybody who's in charge currently because they're not doing squat.
I thank you.
In the rest of the world, I would get Russia out of Ukraine, and Russia would just get out of it. Now, I will say I don't know a whole lot about any of the governments other than kind of Britain. I know Britain's parliamentary system a little better. Is it similar to what Britain has? Is that what Germany has? Is something similar, or is it a different system? Kinda. Okay. Because I know they have what is it? It's the House of Lords and the House of something for Britain. I would assume that you have kind of a is it a dual system of parliament? Because when you say it's peak, it makes me think that it's a different system, that it functions differently. Because like all of Europe, it used to be not oligarchy. What's the word? Autocracy, and then revolution everywhere, and then we have more parliaments and Congress kind of setups that we've been promoting ever since. But for the older world powers, which I would include Germany in, it's a different kind of setup, and it's evolved in a different way because of you've been around for so much longer.
It's cooking messy.
Yikes! The seats in Parliament. Okay. Okay, so I think I've seen stuff about France. France is kind of like that because the majority of the party in Parliament, in their Parliament, they more or less have the majority. I think that's how a lot of countries are done, actually. Okay, so everyone's represented. Yeah, unfortunately, we very much have you're either in this party or this party, and I hate that. I hate it so much because it's now the power of the parties rather than who actually should be, than people doing their job. If you listen to any U.S. politics nowadays, it's very much, the Democrats did this, the Republicans did that. It doesn't matter which side you're on. You immediately have a instigated rivalry against the opposite side of the lane, no matter what happens. And the only time things get done is when people put aside politics. You put aside the parties. Oh yeah, I'm sure that you guys over in Europe are doing far more of the Michael Jackson gif of him eating popcorn. I'm very sure. It's far more fun to see what you guys are doing. All I see is a bunch of people who never got over the fact of being toddlers. It's like, they did this or they did that. It's stupid, and I hate it. I hate it so much. This is why I say we should kick everybody who's in politics, in U.S. politics, out right now, because it's all infighting. It's never benefiting anybody. Though I will say, Germany's been having a little bit of strife. I will say, recently you've been having a little bit more of a. It's whatever's happening now. I would just rather have the liar and know that he's going to get his butt kicked out in 6 months because he's an idiot. I was going to say, in Germany, you've been having a little bit of strife. Hasn't there been a little bit of a Nazi revival amongst a small portion of the youth population? The AFD, yeah. Is that very much more the? Isn't that far more the push of Germany first? Isn't that kind of what the push is for that? Is that they want what's best for Germany and the Germanic people as opposed to trying to live as part of the being good neighbors with Europe? Because that was okay. Fair enough. I just knew that was something that I heard. I was like, sounds a little risky considering history. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to something else. I'm perfectly happy to change topics. I don't like to touch politics myself, very honestly, because it's just stupid. People in power trying to keep power. That's all it looks like to me, in my mind.
Enemy presence on Hoth
Anyway.
has been eradicated and alliance severely weakened. Lord Vader will be pleased.
Well, it actually is 5 o'clock. This is actually when I'm scheduled to end my streams, so I think I'm going to do that. I really do appreciate it, Kilo. Yeah, that's what from what I heard, and that's what the those who have heard about it have gotten worried about. But yeah, I will let that point stand right there. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end here today. Not gonna quit. We're gonna go just out of here. Yeah, so I'm gonna be finished for the day. So I stream around this time, Monday through Friday. If you ever want to drop in, don't feel pressured to do so, but I would love it if I had more people to interact with stuff. Yeah, no, not at all. Normally, my streams are extremely quiet. It is me playing the game, occasionally catching some highlights, and saying hi to people who show up, if they do at all. So, no, having somebody to talk with makes it go by far faster, and lets me use my throat a little bit more. And honestly, getting an opinion from somebody else, it's perfectly wonderful. Yeah. No, this is great. So, yeah, so it'll be Rebel Galaxy tomorrow, and then it'll be Watch Dogs on Friday. So, come by and join me for that anytime you want. And I'm always here for streaming. If you want, you can also take a look at what other games I have. It's down in the About page. If you go down into the links, there's something called a backloggery. If you go into there, you'll see all the games that I have, and you can see why I have so many games. But yeah, that's kind of what the deal is. So the schedule stays pretty on top of it. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I've been pretty consistent. Though I have been wondering about potentially taking maybe a week break recently, because I've been doing this for nearly 8 months straight now. I don't think the only reason I've skipped streams is because I had a technical issue of some sort that made it so I couldn't do it, or I wasn't able to get back from doing something IRL in time, like I had a doctor's appointment or something. So, no, please, yeah, very much the grind set, but it also has kind of become the routine. So now it's going to feel a little weird if I don't do a stream or something during the normal weekdays. But anyway, yeah, come back. So I do stream at this time. So if you are free and want to interact with somebody from across the pond, so to speak, please come on in. We can talk about more or less anything you want. I'm very open to discussions and stuff like that. And I like to learn from people. So I'm also open to playing with other people, though that has some caveats. I want to know you well enough that I can kind of trust you with what to do. And we have to find a game that we can play together. So if it's a cross-play game, that kind of has to work. But yeah. No, but this was great. Let's see. Anyway. Yes, we're going to go ahead and end it here. So I will worry about that stuff next time I get in. Yep, and I thank you for the follow as well as the sub, Akilo. I really do appreciate it. I also take suggestions on anything. If you see something that you think would be great for me to play or to stream next, because like I said, I have a giant list of games. You know, I'm always happy to take those suggestions and work with it. Oh yeah, I do need to check out that video. Yeah, you need to make sure go ahead and post it again for me. If you would, in the chat, because that's been many minutes ago, and it probably has not stayed in the chat log anymore. Fantastic! I will take a look at that as soon as I get out of it, and see what it's like, because that sounds like fun. Honestly, I'm curious when Zero Company comes out, because that's the latest Star Wars game that's going to come out. That's kind of got a AAA push behind it, and it's interesting looking. The fact that it's going to be in the Clone Wars is going to absolutely drive me nuts, because I love that. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it off here. Thank you so much for showing up. Thanks for the chat. I really do appreciate it, even though my throat will hate me. Just needed to get a hard candy and suck on something. So, but yeah. So thanks for everybody who watched post or during stream. I will be back tomorrow. It's Rebel Galaxy. We'll be jumping back in and seeing. We'll have to do a bunch of side quest stuff, because I'm stonewalled on the mission at the moment. So we'll be doing that. So please come by, drop in, do whatever you want, and I will be here. So until then, take care.